Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time it's RWBY Volume 7, Chapter 5, Sparks. Back once again with some RWBY. I have been not on the ball with getting these out as quickly as I promised I was gonna, and I know you're gonna tell me that, hey, it's fine, don't rush yourself, but this is more me on a personal mission to myself. Like, it's not even about the channel. It's not even about regular content. It's about why can't I muster up enough of anything to watch what I want to watch. Like, I have to conclude that this is all related to feelings of grief that I haven't fully dealt with yet. And as I was saying near the beginning of all this, it's a bit of a catch-22 because while, yeah, it does feel nice to just relax my brain and take time away from the things I'm supposed to be doing because that helps me heal, which is pretty normal and pretty human. But that's coupled with the fact that every day that I don't do something for my channel is a day I feel like I've wasted. And that's just been ingrained into me after a long time of doing videos for the channel. Like, it's ingrained into my life, and so now I feel like there's an important household chore that's not being done. Like, like an unmade bed or an unwashed plate when I'm not uploading content. It's weird. But like I say, I have Patron commitments to get back to. I need to get back to Young Justice. I need to get back to Once Upon a Time. I need to get back to Demon Slayer. These are all series I'm really loving and I want to continue them as soon as possible. But I did say that I would be doing RWBY first, and that was meant to be completed 2 weeks ago. So you see where I'm going with this. I'm frustrated that I can't accomplish something that simple. We're almost at the end of the month, people. So I hope you can forgive me for the slow pace that's going on. I mean, I'm predicting the kind of responses you're going to leave me, but I at least like to express that I regret the delays so that you guys know that I give a shit. Like, I know that it's a redundant conversation at this point, but I want to always be clear that I give a shit about you, about your comments, about your views, about your likes, and I like being a friend to sit and watch these videos with. Like, so that's another reason that I feel guilty when I'm not uploading, because, like, shit, these people want to sit with me and watch this thing and I keep blowing them off. Like, but anyway, that's just something I wanted to get off my chest. I'm going to be trying to get as much of the rest of the volume done as possible between tonight and tomorrow night. Considering how late I'm starting tonight, I'm probably just going to do this chapter tonight and then try and make a really good go of it. For me, will be Friday tomorrow. So, yeah. Anyway, back to what we're actually here for. So chapter 5 is called Sparks, and this could either mean sparks to do with the relationship. You know, the little old me is possibly wondering if I might get a small taste of Rose Garden, perhaps, but but it doesn't have to mean romantic sparks. You know, that could be a Renora thing, it could be a Bumblebee thing, or a Rose Garden thing, but sparks could also mean in the electrical sense, and Watts has been doing Watchdog style shenanigans on the Mantle technology, so it could refer to electrical sparks from Watts' trickery, so we might be getting a closer look at whatever Watts is up to. Or the third option, also to do with electricity, is one of the Aesop's the one that's super fast but says it's different to RWBY's. I think maybe there's something to do with, like, electrical, I don't know, not signals, but you know what I mean? Like, didn't there seem to be sort of like a charged up thing about her? She's sort of like an Energizer bunny because she's like a hare, and she's super fast, but there was like this charge of electricity. I think that might be it. I think we might be elaborating on the difference between her and Ruby when it comes to the semblances. I think that's my strongest guess, but that's all I got. So let's hop right in and see which it is. Oh yeah, Sparks could also be robotic.
Oh, Penny.
And
What
Nora's
time is
lightning
it even?
powers.
Time to be huntresses, of course.
Yes, we are official. We are official.
Eyes up, Huntsman. Time to get used to the new normal in Atlas.
Okay.
Your top priority is Amity Tower. That means protecting supply runs from Grimm and bandits.
Oh, that was really cool.
The site itself.
Oh, I
Diverting
love
all
this
construction
soundtrack in the
resources
background.
to Amity Tower means there are going to be gaps in Mantle's defenses against Grimm. They'll need help on the perimeter.
I really like this.
Hey, have you two ever thought about branching out a little? You always pair up, but I don't know if your styles really...
Yeah, do not tell us how to live our life. I love this music. This whole thing's really cool.
Really good stuff. Yeah, keep it up. Single file line.
But there's still plenty to
This
do
is the
on
most
Mantle itself.
important job of all.
Oh, another casserole.
I think you'll find everyone appreciates having a huntsman around.
I like how he's a ladies' man now.
You're of course free to enjoy your time off as you see fit. Whatever helps you take the edge off.
I like seeing the sisters team up. That was nice.
You might not hear Oz.
Oh, you're proud of her. You're proud of her.
What did you have in mind?
The
This
husband around you could be an invaluable resource.
this sequence is one of the best things Ruby's ever done. It's the way the music carries all of this forward.
Have you ever thought about extending your aura?
But make no mistake,
He has a lot of it.
you get to choose what type of huntsman or huntress you are.
That's a good technique. That was as well, but... Oh, can John learn how to extend his own massive aura? That'd be so cool. And I saw them comparing their semblances then, speeding around. Oh, this is going to be a fun one to see reactions to, just for how fun this opening sequence is.
Excuse me.
Oh! Oh! Long time no see!
To be fast? Wow, your boyfriend's actually holding his own. Where's all that energy when he's around you?
Oh, these are the other members of Funky. So I saw a guy with blue hair. Where's the fourth member? I love the updated rainbow effect. Bonk.
Wow! Amazing! You guys have really improved since the Vital Tournament.
And that cute farm boy had a few surprises for us, too.
Well, you really had us on our toes. Thought you had us there for a second. Whew.
Oh, come on. It was way more than a second.
You guys busy? You want to grab some lunch?
Do we? I could eat a sandwich the size of Cobalt.
Cobalt.
Ah, man.
So that's Cobalt with
We'd
a
love
K
to,
then.
but,
Duty calls. Maybe some other time?
No worries. The next time you're free, just let us know.
yeah, next time.
Oh, that was a delight.
There's still time for sandwiches, right?
Like, the whole montage
Not that
was
I'm
so
bored,
good. And
but
then to end it with a
why
brilliant
can't we just
cameo.
use an airship to take these supplies to Amity?
Fantastic.
The components for Amity Tower's construction are far too heavy. All that weight would require precious dust we should be saving for the launch itself, and the Grimm that will come after.
It just makes for long, very long supply runs.
At least the tundra is scenic.
Totally.
Ruby, I just wanted to say how excited I am to be working with you in a
it's the
professional
Sparks
capacity.
nuts
As
and
friends.
dolts.
Me too, Penny.
Relationships are so interesting and varied.
Speaking of friends, have you been able to make any new ones? Since,
Oh.
you know...
Now that I'm the official protector of Mantle, I don't really have a team anymore. General Ironwood says I don't have time for friends.
Oh.
Oh, poor Penny.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like I wish I could do both the things I need to do and the things I want to do. Is that normal?
Well, that's how Ruby's been doing things so far.
About as normal as it gets, Penny.
Everything going all right up there?
Just fine, Uncle Crow.
I win again. Maybe we should call it quits.
Shut up and deal.
Bad luck versus good luck.
Your niece sure is one of a kind, huh?
They all are. Been through a lot together.
That's a good thing they had someone to look up to and get them through it. Not everyone is so lucky.
I don't know about all that. Thanks, by the way, for looking out for them. You and your team.
What good is saving the world without another generation waiting in the wings? Hopefully, they'll leave Remnant better than we left it for them.
Once upon a time, I'd have drank to that.
You shouldn't do that, you know?
Don't worry, I gave that up.
I meant deflect a compliment. Those kids wouldn't be where they are without you.
Yeah, stop hating
It's had more of an
yourself.
effect on them than you realize.
Uncle Crow?
I hate
going
to interrupt
on?
your bonding,
Grim?
but we got trouble.
No. Worse. You two with me, Penny, stay put and keep an eye on our six. You may need an element of surprise.
Affirmative. I will plan for 6 possible outcomes.
Impressive. I do love the strategic minds of militarized students. Oh, here's the cute sheep-looking girl that we passed over.
Time to show them our teeth.
Robin! Well,
Robin.
if it isn't Mantle's hometown hero. Is there a reason you're blocking an official military transport?
Clover, I'm so glad you're here.
She's the one that's running
Maybe
for the
you can help
camps,
me
isn't she?
understand why this truck that's supposed to be taking construction materials to fix Mantle's outer wall is on its way to the middle of nowhere. Are you lost?
It's pretty easy to get turned around out here in the tundra. Everything looks the same. Thanks for checking up on us, though. We'll be on our way now.
I was hoping you'd play it straight with me. What's Ironwood doing with Amity at the old SDC mine?
Oh, that. Just giving her an annual checkup.
The next Vital Festival isn't anytime soon. Only automated drones and a few select Atlas scientists are allowed out here. And Amity's getting invaluable resources we need in Mantle to protect against Grimm. Seems like more than just a checkup.
You've been scoping it out.
We can't fix the wall without the supplies on these trucks. I think Mantle deserves to know what they're being used for. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just tell me.
I'm going to have to pass on that.
There's not much for me to
How about you,
input here.
Pipsqueak?
This is
5 o'clock
politics
shadow?
of the country.
Either of you want to tell me why Mantle's being put at risk for Ironwood's pet project?
We're trying to help Mantle. We
That's
need...
enough, Robin. As a potential councilwoman, you should probably focus on the
So
election
this
instead
is
of harassing
probably a bit overwhelming for
No.
Ruby as well.
It's time to let us pass.
I think you've misjudged the situation. One way or another, these supplies are going to get where they're supposed to go. Mantle.
Then I suggest you do that through the proper legal channels as a councilwoman. If you get elected.
Now, where's the fun in that?
we'd like to politely ask that you call off the huntresses approaching the rear of the truck.
Well done, Penny.
All right. Joanna! May!
Invisible. So sparks could refer to the political tension sparking
Protector
up.
of Mantle, huh?
Let us through. Please.
Okay. No need for a throwdown. That will probably come later. Oh, that was intense.
Robin. Good luck at the election.
Yeah, there's this whole difference in treatment between Amity and
You're
Mantle.
telling me.
It's coming to a head.
What now? I want to know why Amity Coliseum is suddenly so important. Whatever it takes.
Well, and when I said Amity, I meant the difference between Atlas and Mantle. I just had Amity on the brain because they kept saying it, but that's just the tournament venue, isn't it? But you get what I meant.
Your technique still has those maddening, sloppy touches.
It's called
You've learned how to
style.
make them work for you. You've made them your own.
Wow. That was very close to a compliment.
I didn't intend it that way.
We all make mistakes, I guess.
She could even see in her attitude
You've
how
grown
much
up a
she's
bit,
grown.
haven't you? You're not the little girl clinging to the family name anymore.
Yes,
Since
she's full of
vegan,
so much
I haven't
confidence.
really had a choice. Father's view of the world no longer matches with mine.
Whatever the case, I am glad to see you've moved on. Distancing myself from the Schnee name is the most beneficial thing I've ever done. We can move forward without him. Together. I know General Ironwood would have a place for you.
I would be grateful to him if he did. But I'm not sure I could accept.
Really?
It's just... our kingdom isn't supposed to be like this. Fearful and withdrawn. We should be opening our borders to help the world, not closing them down.
We will, though.
Why has this gone through best development of the entire show? I love her so
I know the
much.
General hasn't done everything perfectly, but he's doing what he thinks is right.
Everybody thinks what they're doing is right. But usually they're just looking out for themselves. And their secrets.
Ironwood isn't keeping secrets. Not from me.
Can you be sure?
We'll have to see about that. But think of how much
Come
of a
with me.
tsundere brat she
There's
was in
something I want
Volume
to show
1.
you.
Like, she's come so far. I really love that Winter could recognize and respect how confident Weiss has become now, especially with the quick snapbacks. She's no longer, oh, One-san, notice me. One-chan, I'm not as much of a weeb anymore. So I'll get them wrong sometimes. Oh, is that Winter? As in the maiden. Yeah. I mean, she doesn't look ancient, but you can tell that she's older.
That's the Winter Maiden.
She could pass any day now.
Oh.
Until that happens, I'm the only person Freya's allowed to see.
Freya?
Ironwood's chosen you to be the next.
Well,
when she dies.
It's not just because
How
of my
long
name,
have
is
you
it,
known?
sir? Be honest with me.
Speaking fell.
Doesn't it bother you? He practically groomed your whole military career.
It did at first, when the general first proposed it to me. But the more I thought about it, the more I saw it as a privilege. A chance to do some real good for Atlas. For Remnant.
But your destiny was chosen for you, without your input.
Perhaps.
This is commentary on
But
Pyrrha,
I'm
isn't it?
choosing it now. I've made it my own, and I take great pride in it. That has nothing to do with Father or the General.
I have a feeling that Pyrrha
belongs to me.
would have felt the same as Winter if she wasn't
I guess
as
we've
in love
both
with
had to do a
Jean
little
as
bit
she
of that.
was.
Carving out our own way.
What made it a heartbreak for her was
I suppose
having
we
to
have.
leave behind Jean because she'd be a different person. Like, without Jean in the
Speaking of the
equation,
family
I think
name,
she'd have been just
what
as
is
proud
he
of it as
doing?
Winter.
If I'm elected councilman, I've made it no secret that I will be opposing General Ironwood and his senseless embargo that is crippling all of Atlas. It is my belief that these measures are not only reckless, but criminal. With no shipments allowed to enter or leave the kingdom, I know many are suffering, and my family has been weathering the same storm as many of you.
I like how the workers are like,
I'm forced
shut the
to
fuck
shut
up.
down all non-essential SDC operations. If elected to office, I will make the changes necessary to fix what Ironwood has broken. I hope you ask yourself before the vote, can you trust anyone else to stop Ironwood? Will Robin Hill be able to get your jobs back?
unrest, unrest,
I
unrest.
think Father may have just provided the spark that's going to set this kingdom on fire.
The spark. Oh boy. Well, I'm just gonna come out and say it. That episode was perfect. Just in terms of an episode, in terms of the pacing, the characterization, the things that we actually got, and the order in which we saw them, and the forwarding of the narrative, and the building of the plot points, and yeah, it's perfect. Like, as a single chapter / episode of this series, perfection. Like, this is my favourite so far. It's already dethroned Pomp and Circumstance. This was great. Oh my goodness. Now, let's see if I can go through it in order. We had a really well executed montage introduction that was like 2 minutes or something, like, showing the gang blending and getting along with the ace operatives, settling into their day-to-day official huntsman and huntress lives, and succeeding, because obviously things are going to go to hell later, but for now they've hit it off, they're succeeding, they're doing well, and they're kicking ass, and set to a fantastic fun soundtrack that kept it moving along, kept the sense of pace as we kept going, showed a fantastic cameo from Team Funky with their new designs, and Neon Cat was goading as usual. Don't think I missed her referring to Ren as Nora's boyfriend. Oh good. audience now has corona. After the montage and the delightful cameo, I may get my orders a bit mixed up here, but we got to see some pretty good chill between Ruby and Penny sat together in the car, and Crow and Clover. I remember his name because of Good Luck, because obviously his name is a reference to a 4-leaf clover, so that's how I remembered his name. The others I'm going to take a bit more time to get used to, calling them by their names. But yeah, Crow and Clover bonding, that was pretty cool. As I say, the conversations throughout this episode felt so natural. Dialogue felt really good. This especially comes to light in how they start raising the political tension between Robin and Clover, and Ruby wants to say something, but of course Mr. Political Red Tape is like, no, I have my list of things to say to Robin, and it's just going to complicate things if I allow an honest soul to speak up. Ruby's a little bit in over her head at that moment, because this is about to get into some dark, shady shit. I don't think Team Ruby realizes yet just what a mess they've walked into. Weiss has an idea, and that's why she's a little bit jaded at the moment, which you can understand. She's like, everybody who claims to be doing something for the great good is in it for something for themselves. That's just how it is at this point. How can you fully trust what anyone says? And on that note, I really, really enjoyed the interactions between Weiss and Winter. We even saw that they were still practicing together during the montage, but what really brought their interactions home for me is how not only pleased Winter was, that little smile she gave to the side when Weiss was summoning the big knight and stuff, showing just how far she's come with the summoning she was having trouble with when Winter last saw her in Volume 3. But it was also with the way she was constantly talking back to her and being cocky and smug with her, which she also noticed. You really have grown. Holy crap. You're no longer that little girl who was more attached to the company. You are your own woman, and you are owning it. You are just... You're amazing, Weiss. You're absolutely amazing. And I love that we had Winter recognizing this. That is such a powerful moment for them as sisters. And I'm very interested that Winter has been groomed as the next Winter Maiden from the start, and she's been aware of it, and she takes pride in it. That is excellent character colouring for Winter, because it's not character development, because that's because I know when people refer to character development, they refer to character progression, but this is more referring to something new we've learned about the characters. So I'm in development in that sense. Great character development for Winter is in developing more of a photograph. We see more about that person. I know the term I want to use. I love the added depth. That's the word. That's the term. I love the added depth that this chapter gave to Winter. That was really cool. I love that she's basically had the polar opposite of a panic, because Pyrrha had a panic to do with all of this suddenly being thrust upon her. And I think that was also because she only had a limited time to make the decision. It wasn't this will happen in years. This will happen further down the line. I recognize, I wonder if anyone's already said that in the comments from when I last mentioned Pyrrha, that yes, Pyrrha was put in a rushed position, which was a lot more stressful, and then the fall of Beacon was happening, and it was all a shit show. But Winter completely accepted the responsibility of what was going to happen and took pride in being able to serve with such a purpose. I find that really honorable and respectable, and like she does not mind that she might lose a part of herself. Like, and I recognize that Pyrrha did acknowledge that becoming some big savior, which may include having the maiden powers, fits within what she thought her destiny was. She thought her destiny was to become a great hero or huntress and, you know, help protect people. And she even said, what if you could suddenly fulfill your dream in an instant? So she acknowledged that getting the maiden's powers would be a step towards her dream. But the thing that ruined it for Pyrrha, and I think is the only thing that stopped her from being fully accepting of it, is that she would have to forget Jean. Like, or there was a huge risk that she would forget Jean. Like, and she loved him too much to do that. And that was the heartbreak of the end of Volume 3. But, you know, that's what I was thinking. That this makes me think of an alternate universe Pyrrha that never met Jean. The way Winter has reacted to the responsibility. You know, I think if everything would have gone as the heroes intended, like our Crow says, well, we didn't want to do this so quickly, but things are getting worse. Like, so if things would have been introduced at a proper pace to Pyrrha, and she did have more time to think about it, and she never interacted with John at all, I think she would have taken the same attitude as Winter. I think she'd have taken a quiet pride in it. That's just my 2 cents. As for the other aspects of this, I like how Penny is like just as unsure as Ruby for certain things. Like, she can't have many friends. She can't. Like, she too seemed to be like Ruby, thinking that there was something not quite right, but she was still standing by what she was told to do. Like, yep, just please let us through. Like, I'm just going to ignore everything else you've said. I'm just going to stick to what I know I have to do. Like, I'm obviously betting that Penny is going to defect and join Ruby's side when shit hits the fan. But it's going to be interesting seeing how we get there. Yeah. I'm really intrigued by this volume so far. I want to know if we're going to actually get to meet Freya. I mean, we've seen her through a glass window, but I really hope we're actually going to meet her and interact with her as a character at some point, because we didn't get much interaction with Amber because she was left in a coma. This is a chance to actually speak to a maiden that's about to pass on and maybe get some insight. You know, that would be pretty cool. I want to check back in with Maria. Have we just dropped her off and we're not going to address her again? Is she separated ways from the group? I guess she has no obligation to keep following the gang. Like, she was just circumstantial companion. But what I'm saying is I'm going to miss her. And I'm sure many of you guys miss her as well if she ended up just departing. Like, that's it. She's just with Penny's father in Mantle. She's got her eyes fixed, and what, has she gone home now? Has she gone all the way back? I don't know. But if she's gone for good, then I will miss her very dearly. One of my favourite characters in the entire show. Speaking of favourite characters in the entire show, we got a brief appearance from one of my least favourite characters in the entire show, right on the opposite end of the pendulum, opposite end of the scales. Jacques, the piece of shit himself, giving his typical smug, oh yes, I can make Atlas great again kind of spiel on telly. And it's gotten people successfully riled up, like, oh yeah, but we're mad at Ironwood right now, he's not that popular. This guy says he'll take down Ironwood. Yeah, let's take down Ironwood! Rah! So yeah, that is ultimately the sparks referred to in the title. I like how RWBY is doing this thing with the titles. I don't know if they've always done this, because I'm thinking back, and I'm thinking, yeah, the titles have always referred to something that happens in the episodes, but I don't think it's ever felt as clever. if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I've just need to go back and take another look at all of those names, because I mentioned of how I love how Once Upon a Time likes bringing certain things back, like how the whole cake thing in one of the recent chapters, but I don't know, I spent this whole time wondering about Sparks, and then, you know, it talks about Sparks at the end. I'm like, and now pomp and circumstance with, oh, well, that's all the pomp I have in me for today. Like, okay. I'm gonna have to start making more direct predictions based on these episode titles. But yeah, that's about all I've got for you. I thought this episode was perfect. I am absolutely gonna adore seeing everyone react to it, because it's good moment after good moment after good moment after good moment, and we have more of a really fun sounding soundtrack pumped into this, and it's just overall a really good time and a very well paced episode of a volume. So yeah, so far this is my favorite chapter, but I'll see you guys next time.